Hello, welcome again to Wheels, where this week, by way of a change, we've something of a mid-season sale for you, as we bring you not just one sport, not two even, but three sports, all for the price of one. Can't be bad, and they're all newcomers to the series. Top of the bill tonight, karting, low suspension, high speeds and high excitement, and some of the best drivers are still at primary school. Then we'll be heading for Essex for the rough and tumble and real competitive aggression of Cycle Speedway and the World Masters. And we'll then be going for the hat-trick with a taste of land yachting. Again, plenty of speed, a few spills, but a little less noise. But we start with a sport which started here in East Anglia on the American air bases. It's taken off for all ages, it's fast, it's fun, it's furious, it's karting.
The oldest is 12, the youngest 8. There's some pre-race nerves out there. 250 National, single cylinder, 6 gears, the quickest on this part of the course. There's some fun and games out there. A clash between number 25 Darren Kinsey of Saffron Walden and 34 Stuart Petts of Luton. And who's this taking an excursion? Andy Collins of Wilstead, unloading some unwanted cargo, and he'll be away again. This is some battle. 250 International, the yellow peril of Brian Howard of Ilford, dicing with Paul Darrington of St Neots. Howard has got it, or has he? But Darrington squeezes him out and off. 7, Gareth Hessian bearing down on a couple of victims. Emma Fagan has gone in pursuit of 67, Andrew Boss of Nottingham. He'll have to move over. A bit tight in there. Number 17, Paul Bloomer of Dunstable's got the line. Simon Andrews of Kettering has got the sand and the hump. The wide open spaces of Kimbolton. Hello, there's a problem out there, but help is at hand, never fear. Oh, there's a bigger problem here. That's some tumble. That looks like number 20, James Beals of Norwich under there. That's a relief. This is the Junior Britain class, 12 to 16-year-olds getting experience the hard way. And he needs help. He's going to get it. You've heard of the press gang. Well, the push gang is on its way. A gap in the traffic, then the push gang to the rescue. Edward Hoyle goes for another pass, lining up number 11, James Wright in his sights. James must have problems. He's normally pretty quick. He's got problems now, though. He's dropped another place. Number 17, Harry Sodden, is next. Ah, right place, wrong time. Come back later. And a good heat performance from Antony Davidson. It should be a great final.
So there we are, that's a taste of what's to come. Normally in Wheels, of course, we feature one major event, world titles coming out of our ears, that kind of thing. This is the Hunts Kart Racing Club, one of 10 meetings they hold throughout the year. No specific competition or prizes up for grabs as such, but a lot of quality racing.
As you can see all around the circuit, there's crops. If you are found in the crops, anybody to do with you, you are responsible for them. You will get a lifetime ban. There's to be no driving or running of engines in the pits. If you are caught, you'll go home.
We've got 29 races on today, so we're going to have a very busy day. We've finished the practice and we're just about ready to go. The first grid is now behind me here, and there's going to be a lot of racing. We're going to be racing here virtually non-stop until 6 o'clock tonight. Since I've been here, we've had our 25th anniversary, and the track was about 600 metres long. In March, we extended the track to over 1,000 metres, and it's actually cost us over £50,000 to do that. So kart racing is really developing here at the moment.
The first ever kart was built in the United States in 1956, a very simple design. By 1959, American airmen had brought the idea and the sport to England, and the Hunts Club at Kimbolton had been born. This was one of 59 kart clubs which sprang to life around the country, not quite so many in existence today. This is Kimbolton 20 years ago, by which time the nature of the sport had changed considerably. More powerful Italian and Villiers engines, more speed and safer circuits. It was still the fun and economic pace of motor racing, but battling hard to lose its go-kart image, sometimes not helped by visiting reporters.
Well, Barry, it is fun and it is exciting. What else is go-karting?
It's not go-karting, it's, we're trying to get away from this go-karting, or the phrase go-karting, and apply it to more Formula One racing.
Today there's a new aspect to karting which is springing to life almost as fast as the earlier clubs, the indoor phenomenon. A good evening out for the family, for business or corporate activity. It's part of the entertainment world which is beating the recession by quite a few lengths. but it's far removed from the real thing at Kimbolton. It's on circuits like this, probably not as good as this, where drivers like Ayrton Senna and Nigel Mansell learn the basic grammar of motor racing. Here's where young drivers learn the mechanics and maintenance. The engines need new pistons every 30 to 90 minutes of racing. 85 miles an hour on the straight, average speed round the circuit, 55. Adjustments to the handling of the kart can be made by altering tyre pressures, widths, tracking, weight distribution and seat position. It's basic but subtle, and like the Hunts Club itself, has come a long way in 30 years. You've got a fond
Yeah, I have. Kimbolton's a very nice club. I remember racing here as a junior many years ago. It doesn't change an awful lot in the pit facilities. Yes, they've improved the circuit, they're spending money there. Their biggest problem is they can only run once a month. They really need to run twice a month for the amount of people that are in the sport. Over the last 33 years, when we first started, we've seen a fair bit of development technically. Lap times have dropped dramatically, as you would expect with the better tyres, etc. The chassis have improved. The circuits have got better, they've got smoother, they're resurfaced more often. There's more people in the sport. There's more people that build chassis, therefore they test more often. Yes, it's quicker, it's better. There's more money spent there, more professional.
And there's a wider age range now.
Yes, they've now introduced a new class about 3 years ago for 8-year-olds. Although 8-year-olds were practicing, they couldn't race. It's been a success. They've had some problems with the single-make engine they've used, but I think they've now sorted that out. Yes, it's bringing new people in the sport, and it's great to watch. The kids have no fear.
Karting is very much a family sport. The younger drivers might perform like Alain Prost on the track, but someone's got to get them there and provide the gear. Good old Dad. Or as far as the Hessians from Bedford are concerned, 17-year-old Gareth might do the driving, but it's Mum and Dad who are key members of the backup team. We were doing a little experimenting of our own here with onboard camera on Gareth's machine. And the first thing you learn is the suspension on karts is not the most sophisticated. Edward Hoyle from Peterborough was another driver carrying one of our cameras on his helmet. He's in the cadet class where the karts have 60cc engines and where the drivers frighten the life out of their parents and very soon gain extraordinary experience and move on to bigger things.
When I was 5, I asked for my birthday. When I was 4, sorry, I asked for a kart for my birthday. And it just happened. I woke up and there was one there. So I'd done practicing till I was 8, and then this new class came out called Cadet. So I started that, and I've been doing that ever since. Winning the British Championships 3 times, and quite a few other meetings.
Here's the leader going well, but the pack is closing. Number 18, Edward Hoyle trying to get through there. Foot hard down. Oops, he's overdone it and lost it. Number 76, Martin Patty, just caught his wheel. Martin Patty of Bludisham, he's a tough old boy.
You've got to be very alert. You have to go to bed very early the night before. One time when I wasn't, I rolled my old cart over and hurt my knee, and I scraped all of my old helmet. And all of my helmet had been scratched.
That's because you were tired?
Yeah.
Now what about the schoolwork? Does that suffer?
Well, no, we've always said that school comes before karting.
Number 15, Dean Hall of Woodford, one of the really young ones here, and overhauled by 11-year-old veteran Antony Davidson.
Tell me just how important the tyres are in karting.
Well, they're quite soft now because we've just changed tyres to the Dunlop tyres too, and they're very sticky, and you don't have to change them like in the middle of the race because we don't go as fast as Formula 1s and that, only go about 65, and the wet weather tyre of the Dunlop isn't all that good because the blocks are so soft that they just melt and they go like marshmallows.
And here's another one with family tradition in the sport. Oliver Wood of Northampton, big brother actually is a senior Britain, and Dad's a former professional.
It isn't only that you have to hit them with a stick, you also have to dangle over the carrot or whatever you have to hand over the boys.
Even at 8 years old?
Even at 8 years old, yeah. Keep them at it.
Gearbox class, which is the daddy of them all, noisy but almost elite, old engines, strong loyalties, the 210 National.
The 210 Villiers class is the original class of karting. It's basically the outfit itself. It's a 210cc two-stroke Villiers engine. It's the class is limited to just that engine. It makes it sort of an elite class because you can only use a Villiers engine. A lot of the other classes in karting you can use different makes and brands of engines. This one, everybody in the class runs a Villiers engine. Everybody who races in the Villiers says without a doubt it's the friendliest class of all. And the camaraderie in the class is brilliant. And it's what I've been in it 17 years. And I've never driven anything else, and I would never want to drive in anything else because all the lads are just brilliant. We help one another, we pitch in. I'm not saying we're the best of friends on the track. I mean, when we're out on the track, we're out there to win. There's no doubt about that. But in the pits, we'll help one another. If somebody's stuck for bits and pieces and you've got it, you lend it to them.
Somebody was trying to persuade me that originally the Villiers engine was for lawn mowers, is that right?
That's right. Lawn mowers and invalid carriages even as well at one stage used this engine, or the basis of this engine, which is the challenge of the Villiers class really. It's trying to make an engine that wasn't made for racing go at speeds of anything up to 120 miles an hour and keeping it together. And that's part of the appeal of this class. It's not a specialist racing engine, but we've made it that way.
The final stages of the 210 class. Number 30, Keith Edwards of Wilmslow, just holding off Bob Rawdon of Darlston. Does he know he's on his shoulder? Of course he does. One more turn to make, and he's home. Rawdon coming up on the inside, a dash for the line. It's Edwards, I think, by a whisker. Great finish. There's someone behind you. Oh, no, there isn't. Oh, yes, there is. Oh, well, perhaps there is. The start of the Senior Britain class, the biggest and most popular of the 100cc category. Front row of the grid in pole position, 17-year-old Gareth Hessian, number 7. The ranking he finished in last year's British Championship with number 67, Andrew Boss of Arnold Nottingham, and number 71, Andrew Armiger of Wickford, is likeliest challengers. Heading down to Kimbolton corner, usually pretty hairy there, but they're through. A view from his onboard camera. He's held lap records here for senior and junior classes, so unless he overdoes it, he'll take some catching. Senior Britain, 100cc, direct drive, no clutch, something like 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. Top speed around here, 90 miles an hour. The laps flash by, that's one of the toughest jobs, lap scorer. Big fields, even racing, but Gareth Hessian is going well. This is the class for everyone over the age of 16, and his machine's going well too.
After each meeting, I strip it totally down. I take the seat out, the axle out, and the engine off. Every race, the engine goes away to be serviced, and it has new piston rings and all the internals changed. That's about every 25 minutes, half an hour. There's quite a lot of work to do.
You don't have to do that all yourself, though, of course?
No, I do most of the preparation myself. My dad helps me. But the engines get sent away each time. We don't touch the engines.
So you and boys like yourself have to have quite a lot of knowledge about the workings of an engine and mechanics in general.
Yeah, well, you do pick it up fairly quickly, even if you haven't got any knowledge when you start. It doesn't take long. I mean, they are fairly basic, just nuts and bolts.
Shaking a few nuts and bolts out of our camera by the look of it. That might need a bit of care and attention after this chase round Kimbolton. Gareth Hessian, a clear leader, 6 or 7 years experience already. He's at Bedford College. Perhaps a future in senior motor racing. Perhaps he'll be one of the growing number who stick with karting as it becomes more sophisticated, although it's getting more costly. Number 68, Tim Hayne of Oxshott, coming through on the inside, braked hard, locked up, and suddenly a spectator as Gareth Hessian takes the checkered flag. Nice one, another win in the bag, and a new lap record too. The start then of the cadet final. These drivers, the oldest is 12, the youngest 8, and they've had to battle to get this far. And they're away with Edward Hoyle of Peterborough, nipping through there on the inside. Third row of the grid suddenly up to the second row. Nice one, Ed. But the contest here, barring junior indiscretions, is going to be between these two. Jenson Button of Bath, number 3, Antony Davidson of Hemel Hempstead, number 4, carrying the numbers of the positions they finished in the British Championship last year. And this season, Button currently leads with Davidson joint second. 60cc, no gears, centrifugal clutch. Good dice here between Button and Davidson. Button just holds him off, but Davidson's got the better line and through on the inside. Jump of delight from Davidson, but Button will have him again on this finishing straight. Two 11-year-olds battling here, and has he got it? Button goes through. For a lot of the drivers in this race, it's their first season, but not for these two. Button still holds him off. Davidson in hot pursuit, and number 18, Ed Hoyle, has come up into third spot with a clear run ahead of him to get at the leaders perhaps. Good driving all round here. Davidson still chasing. His crew chief will certainly approve of that, and that's his father, Dennis Davidson.
It's a nice thing to do with youngsters. I couldn't afford to motor race myself, and it's a little bit bigger than electric cars, and not as expensive as doing full motor racing, and you can put these in a trailer or in a car. So the RAC does us a great favour coming up with these little mini karts. Yes, it's my hobby, and Anthony's the lucky pilot.
But the pilot will have to fly a bit here if he's to catch Jenson Button into the final stages. Button of Bath holds him off. The back marker makes way for the old hands of 11. Button wins. Davidson is second. And it looks as if Ed Hoyle is over the line for a well-earned third place. Good race all round.
So there we are, that's karting for you. We're now going to dispense with the engine, do away with a couple of the wheels and resort to pedal power. Cycle Speedway next.